Unraveling the mysteries of Jupiter. We've never seen inside until now. Jupiter is far away from Earth, and there is still a lot we do not know about it. This may sound strange, but Jupiter is perhaps the most gaseous planet in our entire solar system. Overall, about 9 spacecraft have visited Jupiter. In this video, we will talk about the mysteries lurking inside Jupiter. So, stay tuned. But before we go any further, I would request you to subscribe to the channel. Thank you! Jupiter is the 5th closest planet to the Sun, and it is not very difficult to get to. Despite that, the planet is a bit challenging to put an object in orbit, since the planet revolves at such a remarkable pace. The gravitational attraction is so fast that the spacecraft do not have to work overtime once they enter its gravitational field. For instance, in 1979, the Voyager space probe took more than 1,500 days to reach Jupiter. But reaching Jupiter was a different thing altogether, since the spacecraft had to travel at a very high speed. But speeding too much will push the spacecraft beyond the gravitational pull, and speeding too little can be equally disruptive, since gravity will lure the spacecraft then. The Voyager was too fast to fall prey to Jupiter's gravity. So how did it get into orbit around Jupiter? It made use of rockets to help it slow down. Overall, interplanetary travel is an expensive proposition. The costs incurred in putting an object around an orbit around Jupiter is the same as putting a satellite in low orbit around the Earth. This can also mean that probes could benefit from gravitational assists off of other planets, meaning that they may require less energy during launch. Although this does increase the relative time of the mission, it may also mean that the probe can be equipped with a solar panel or a thermonuclear resource, which can provide it with some energy source. As far as Jupiter is concerned, there was an additional problem. Since the planet was gaseous, it was difficult for the probe to land. Any probe looking to land on Jupiter would find it easy to go through the atmosphere and transition to the inner fluid. But the internal pressure would dismantle any probe, and the amount of radiation would also cause the internal sensors on a probe to go awry. The Galileo probe has orbited the planet for several years and has withstood radiation levels far more than what it was designed to do. But as a result, the scanning probe has suffered a lot, and there were a host of technical problems, which were due to exposure to harmful levels of radiation. Pioneer 10 and 11 did explore Jupiter in the 1970s, and thanks to the data we collected, we could see that Jupiter was covered with storm clouds, which could not be clearly seen from Earth. Pioneer 10 also provided some detailed images of the Galileo satellite. It could see the atmosphere around the radiation belts, which are extended up to thousands of kilometers from the planet. We also know a lot about Jupiter through its temperature lenses. We were able to understand first that the planet is mainly liquid, and most of this liquid exists in the form of liquid metallic hydrogen. Voyager 1 and 2 also explored Jupiter in 1977 and 1979. Voyager 1 photographed the planet in 1979 and provided high-quality images of the planet when it came almost 350,000 kilometers to the planet. The Voyager missions were instrumental in enhancing our knowledge of the Galileo satellites. They also uncovered other satellites around Jupiter, such as the Mattis satellite, along with discovery of other rings around Jupiter, which could not be seen from a telescope from Earth. Before the Voyager program, it was believed that Saturn was the only planet which had rings around its circumference. The probe also helps us understand that the red spots on the surface of Jupiter were in fact anticyclones, which were moving in a counterclockwise direction. There were other photographs taken by Voyager, which helped show that Europa is a moon which has at least 30 kilometers of ice in its crust. This shows that buried deep beneath this moon, there may be an ocean of liquid water. The Ulysses spacecraft was designed as a 5-year mission to examine the North and South Pole. The spacecraft has given a wealth of data on solar winds, interstellar dust, and the overall solar cycle. The spacecraft was also able to launch out of the elliptical plane and enter its solar polar orbit. This was a unique feat which couldn't be achieved by another vessel. The mission ended in 2009 and was unable to carry out any significant scientific projects since its nuclear power source was out of power. This leaves us with Galileo, which has been the only mission to penetrate deep inside Jupiter. Due to failures in deploying antennas, the data gathered was sort of underwhelming, but the mission did report multiple flybys of all the moons of the gaseous giant. With this interesting finding, we will bring today's video to a close. Please like and share the video if you found it interesting. Subscribe to the channel for staying updated with the latest content. Thank you.